You heard it. I'm about to shoot him. Good shot. Yeah, right. Good move. I got badges popping up when I'm trying to put shit on. I really could have forced it. I got a badge on. Damn. I'm gonna start doing it. That motherfucker better draw. That probably be. No, that's all. He been missing so much. He ain't got no confidence in his shot no more. my shit.
For
real? I got blow by gold now.
I'm gonna make another player. If I made another player, what could we do? Should I have? I don't know.
We can switch it up a little bit.
PG. I think I should make a PG, and I'm gonna have that nigga Zach make a center, so niggas can run threes, and then me and you can run twos like this.
Yeah, fast.
Okay.
Silver and the bronze. We can stay on here. Okay, boy, I'm trying to think about what build I can make. I can make a post.
Post
no, I can make a stretch, like a stretch glass though. Stretch glass lock type shit. And you say Zach got a big, but my big gonna be on some shit like yours. But different. Like I might make a lockdown type shit.
Straight. Yeah, I'm having to make it straight. Big like that.
Oh, they can't shoot either. Just grab them boys and really can do shit down there in the paint. Can really baby shit. Yeah. Really make him make a post. Yeah, there you go. You had it first time. He be jumping, you had him. Scary stories finding 2 remains. I like watching shit like this.
Now, fentanyl is, the profits are even bigger than cocaine because fentanyl, you've got this tiny little chemical stuff. It's extremely potent, less bulk. You don't have to worry about the whole harvesting process of like growing coca leaves and crop spraying. Labs in China. The Mexican cartels want to even create their own precursors, so maybe even some point China will be outside the equation, but right now China's part of this. And you've got Americans dying now. I mean, this is horrific numbers. 107,000 overdose deaths in 2021 in the United States. About 70,000 involved fentanyl. No, 30,000 involved crystal meth.
I mean, they're using it as weapons now, too. I'm seeing over and over again. It's becoming more and more common. We're seeing police officers go down from fentanyl exposure. Before we get into the fentanyl crisis, I want to rewind, and I do want to say I think that the educational program that you're speaking of, is that just your idea, or is somebody looking at maybe implementing that? Because that could really work. In my initial thought was there's no way that's going to work because there's going to be multi-generational cartel members. But then when you talk about how their life is, one of the questions I ask a lot of the special operations guys, that I interview on here is, would you want your kid to have the life that you had knowing what you know now? And
you had them right there if you want to shoot.
I don't know the exact number, but it's got to be 90%.
Why?
No. I don't want my kid to have to live through that.
Well, that's like, working in special operations with a government salary and people consider you a hero, let alone being, a cartel figure. I mean, like I said, there's different people, and some of them are unrepentant. Some of them have made it work for them. There's traffickers who've made this stuff work for them, have ended up stashing their assets and making deals with the government, and they end up being kind of clean with it. But a lot of people, they don't want their kids. And it's bizarre. Like, I've been with gang members, cartel members.
See, when I ran behind it, they're scared or he missed it.
On one side, they killed 27 people. On the other side, they're talking about they go to their parents' evening at their kids' school. And they're kind of, some of these people, it's a weird, bizarre world. And you get into them, like a lot of them, they kind of struggle and want to get a normal life out of this and stuff. They kind of live through this area of brutal violence. I think, a lot of...
I understand, keep on helping that bitch
military people You can sit down and probably sit in a room with these guys and kind of understand and share a beer or have a cup of coffee because you both had, you've seen extreme violence. You know what it's like. You've seen dead bodies. You know what it's like. Okay, how do I process killing?
Yo, bitch ass off me, bro.
How do I deal with that? Now, some of these sicarios, I think they simply say, well, I'm taking orders. And they are. It's killing machines. You're recruited in. It's just like, well, I've got orders to go and kill these guys. That's what I'm doing. But if you look at, like, why does the real severe violence come about?
Yeah.
Like, why, and I ask this question, why do they leave the worst atrocity, or one of the worst atrocities in Mexico, which I've covered, was 49 bodies dumped on a road, all decapitated, all with their hands cut off.
Go get that one.
And their feet cut off.
I knew it.
Dumped on a road.
Donkey man.
I got a call, it was Sunday morning, it's 2012, I got a call, something's happening up in Monterrey. I jumped on the plane, flew up there. When I got up there, they took the bodies and put them in the morgue. So I went in the morgue and the smell of 49 bodies that they couldn't identify. They had no heads, no hands and no feet. Just 49 lumps of meat. And it's like, why do they do that? What are they doing? I actually recently met one of the guys in the cartel in prison in the United States who was involved in that cartel and gave me a bit of an explanation for what they were doing with that there. But one of the things you see is you have combatants, people with with structures, irregular armed organizations.
We should do some rival shit for a new park.
To control territory. Top of that boss, you've got to control territory. So how do we control territory?
Some rival shit for a new park.
Some rival shit for a new park?
Yeah. Like some 16 shit.
Stared at his arse for 200 miles.
Like go to the other park?
You know what I'm saying? Like rival for a new park. Also 2K16 shit, man.
Oh.
So in that sense, they are using terror or terrorists, but the same way that the military groups have done this for forever. How do we control this territory? We've got to make people scared of us.
I mean, it makes sense. As brutal as it is, it does make a hell of a lot of sense. And when you're recruiting, kids that are 12, 13 years old, I mean, by the time, they have to be desensitized like that.
Yeah. So they're training up these kids. Now, I'll tell you a horror story of on that same investigation, same time I went up there. So I was in the morgue, 49 bodies, making sense of this. And I came out of the morgue.
Yeah, let's get these niggas in there, man.
Of like family members.
Stop playing.
Looking. And like, I was like, what's going on there? Talk to one woman. So we're trying to find if our loved ones who have disappeared are among these victims. So we want to do DNA tests. And this one woman I talked to was a school teacher. Dragged out of their home on one evening, 18-year-old son, philosophy student. What happened was she was sitting there, she had her two sons there, one 18-year-old, one 15-year-old. And son at the door, bang, 15 guys come in with guns. Because once you get these armed groups, they can start, ravaging, attacking the local population, storming the house, start grabbing stuff, and then they say to her, "Which of your sons is the oldest?" And she's like, can't even answer, can't even speak. Like, how to answer that? And the elder son raised his hand and said, "I'm the eldest. You're not going to take my little brother." And they took him. She got a phone call the next day. "Can you give us this amount of money, we'll give your son back." She got the money. What you do as a parent in that moment? Got the money, wherever she could, relatives, went up, handed it in, phoned up, no response. That was it, her son was gone. She was wandering around these events, these morgues, trying to find him. Other mothers I've talked to, very similar stories, who eventually found and identified the bodies of their kids after like 3 years. One of them in Veracruz, and I talked to her, and she was looking for a kid who was taken away by our men. This guy worked at customs, 24 years old, and eventually she identified his body. She would come with a group of mothers searching for, you've just got thousands of disappearances that have come out of this conflict. So she was searching for his, for him with these various mothers. They were like marching, and a guy pulled up in a car and said, check out this place, and he had like a hand-drawn map. Might find some bodies here. So they went there. First they said to the government, oh, we've got this information of a government, whatever. So they went there themselves and started digging up in this field. And started finding bones, skulls, bodies. Turned out to be the biggest mass grave in Mexico in the modern time, 297.
297 remains.
I mean, and this is like, but I mean, 297 skulls. I mean, this is a mess because like, it's even hard. It's like bones, 5 years old, 8 years old, 1 year old, 2 year old remains. And they started pulling them out. Eventually, after several years, her son was identified in this mass grave. While they were pulling them out, so you start getting that smell of kind of bodies being pulled out. Right in front of it was a housing area. Attempts at middle class homes to kind of, kiddies, bikes, basketball hoops, and the families that write things saying, well, we're getting this stink of this coming into our housing. That's how like bizarre and messed up this conflict is.
That makes me just rethink what are they trying to achieve by storming people's houses and just pulling their kids out and killing them, telling them that they're going to take a ransom for it, and killing them.
So I think what happens a lot. I mean, every case has got different stories. But in that case, what you can have, I mean, like, you've got the brutal soldiers, and you can relate to this. Being a soldier, imagine the most kind of brutal soldiers, but soldiers haven't gone through like good recruitment. They've kind of recruited the kind of meanest, hateful people they can find from the streets. But in a sense, they're victims and victimizers to an extent. But yeah, still, hateful, brutal people, train them up, make them bloody, and tell you guys have got to control these territories, give them guns, make them commit terror. Then once you've got an armed group out there committing terror, okay, we want some money. Just go to raid a house. Just go to raid a store. Just go to steal a car. Do what you like. Raid someone's house, steal some stuff. Okay, we'll take the son. Let's get him to pay a ransom. Kill him anyway. Maybe we killed him already. Maybe we beat the crap out of this kid and killed him already. Or maybe we will recruit these people, and you get people who recruit and forced to do stuff.
The pipes almost.
But themselves, give these people we recruit, give them a gun, do some stuff. Or hack up bodies, or do this, or do that. It's brutal. It's kind of one of the crazy things about this is this. I mean, that kind of level of almost like medieval kind of warfare, kind of medieval morality in this stuff. And in some ways, you can look at medieval stuff, the way these cartels operate. It's like fealty. You've got like one powerful drug boss, and then a guy below who's like swearing fealty to him, and a guy below swearing fealty to him. But that's happening. At the same time, you've got like, say, $1 trillion economy. You've got, you go to Mexico City, you can sit in a Starbucks and sit there on your laptop, and you can go to a trendy bar. You can go to Cancun and go to some beautiful beaches, and that's happening as well at the same time. So it's kind of weird how this kind of normality is around this like very harsh conflict.
Hey everybody, I'm Sean Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Sean Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes, so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.
like.
Josh. I know, Tony. It's like they don't even believe the NFL on CBS streams live on.
God, that's late. Just the one though.
When this man is ruling the entire world, basically he will command that everyone receive what's called the mark of the beast. Who's ever heard of the mark of the beast? And the mark of the beast is going to be something, the Bible says, in your right hand or in your forehead, and that no one will be able to buy or sell without having this mark. Now, people might have read this a few hundred years ago and said, how can you do that? How can you make people not be able to buy or sell unless they have this mark? Can't we just pull out cash? Let's think about the way the technology is. This money that I hold in my hand, this Federal Reserve note, it's a piece of paper. It's worthless. It does not have any intrinsic value. When you see a cashless society starting to develop, more and more we're getting away from using cash. There will be a time when it will exist.
So is paper money a relic of a bygone era?
95% of the transactions in America or more are nothing to do with physical pieces of paper or coins.
Have you ever wondered if one day cold, hard cash will simply cease to exist? It's a reality that some say that we should accept. Greenbacks and coins have become an inconvenience.
The principle is that we have to move this economy from a cash-based economy to a cashless economy. This involves banks, it involves telecoms companies, it involves providers of ATMs and POSs, it involves a cultural change.
Just what do you call money? Is it a handful of coins and notes, or are cards taking over? And are some forms of money coming to the end of their lives, like the check?
Suppose every store in your town said, hey, we're not taking cash anymore. Suppose they said, hey, we're not even going to take checks or credit cards because there's too much fraud, too many stolen credit cards, too many bounce checks. It has to be an electronic transaction.
Because let's face it, the paper money is not really worth anything. It's a piece of paper. Might as well be monopoly money. It's not gold, it's not silver, it has no intrinsic value. So first, they've gotten us used to using pieces of paper that are worthless as money. Today, I can exchange that piece of paper for goods and services.
What the hell is that? You want to tell me where the hell we're going?
Manhattan, no matter what's coming, we have to live.
What does it feel like to be a king?
But if somebody said tomorrow, that money's not worth anything, it wouldn't be worth anything. Because you remember the Confederate States of America? Remember the Confederate money? People saved up Confederate money in the mattress. Guess what? It wasn't worth anything. So they could do that to you too. And just say, well, your paper money's no good. Now it's all just in your account. It's all tied in with your Facebook and your YouTube channel and your Gmail. And it's great because there's no identity theft. You don't have to worry about leaving your wallet at home. You don't have to worry about your credit card being stolen. It's all just completely cashless. We can control the drugs because there won't be any way to have a cash transaction. It's to prevent crime.
It's sci-fi technology that's about to enter the checkout lane, all in the name of
Speed and convenience.
you'll be able to buy anything, from bread to beer, if you agree to give the store your ultimate identity.
That scares the heck out of me.
Once you have your groceries scanned, now what do? Touch
3
your
seconds.
index finger to the image reader, and you've paid in about 3 seconds, all with the touch of your fingertips. It's called biometrics, an automated way to recognize you based on your unique biological characteristics.
Do not be sold on this because of a convenience. You know, today it's a fingerprint, tomorrow it's a microchip. Maybe that ushers in the mark of the beast.
Donnie Adway quit his management job at Quick Trip when the convenience store chain told him he had to swipe his finger to clock in and clock out.
And although it may be optional today, you know,
Swipe your finger.
Experts say biometrics are about to pervade every aspect of our economy and daily lives.
You put your finger in there, and my name comes up, and she's got all my information. Is it that quick? It's very quick. Love it. Love it.
People across the world already use biometrics. The U.S. government, the airlines, gas stations, even Walt Disney World uses technology that can read guests' blood veins in lieu of carrying day passes.
What in the fuck?
This one world government is going to have so much power that it's going to be able to dictate that no person on this earth will be able to buy or sell without having the mark of the beast. Now, it's interesting. The King James Bible very clearly says that the mark of the beast, this mark that will be required for you to buy or sell, will be located in their right hand or in their forehead. This could be some kind of an implantable chip, where in order to buy or sell, you're just going to need to scan this chip. What's going to happen one day is that they will say, this paper money, that $100 in your pocket, it's worthless. You must scan to pay. It's all electronic now. Now you go to the grocery store, you ring up your groceries, and then just... And if you don't have a hand, no problem, because we'll put it in your head, because everybody has a head. You know what I mean? And you'll just, check out at the checkout. And so it'll just, all the money will just be electronic format. And it's already going that way. Cell phones are starting to have a scanner. So it could be basically, let's say there's an exchange of goods and services between two people, right? Okay, that's going to be $10.50. Go ahead and give me your right hand so I can just scan it with my smartphone. Okay, now I just took the money from his account. Oh, you just gave my son a piano lesson. Let me get you paid. Think about it now. The smartphone can be used to scan the mark of the beast, okay? And you can't buy or sell without it.
In medical news tonight, a chip the size of a grain of rice could save your life.
You're rushed to a hospital unconscious with no ID or medical history, but thanks to a microchip under your skin, it's all there. Science fiction 20 years ago, but a biometric reality today.
I think it is possible to free us completely of our wallets and keys using biometric technology, if that's what people want in 10 years' time.
The challenge is to safeguard our privacy in a brave new world.
New microchip technology now makes it possible for the emergency room staff to find out about your medical history at the touch of a computer key.
So many emergency physicians have to operate blind. We have to make medical decisions not knowing what medicines you take or what allergies you have.
Harvard Dr. John Halomka says this radio frequency identification chip may solve that problem. He had it implanted in his right upper arm. A scanner reads an identification number. Those 16 digits are then entered into a secure website where his medical history is stored. EMT worker Brian Orsani says the chip could help emergency workers.
One of the big things is if you ever have some type of trauma patient where they come in and they're unable to give you their information and or their medical history.
Dr. Halomka says the benefits are clear.
I'm a rock climber, and I believe if I fall off a cliff and you find me
Anonymous video.
the comfort of being able to scan me and figure out who I am outweighs my concern for privacy.
Alright, them hackers that be doing, them hacker niggas. Yeah, they video.
Relatively pain-free.
It's like putting a knitting needle.
They be putting a whole bunch of government
He
secrets
says
up.
getting something under your skin is a good thing.
It starts like this. Here's his cat. 5 years later, we found out she's back. Then somebody said, well, if it's good enough for a cat, Suki, I've got mom and dad at home, and dad kind of wanders off sometimes, and maybe we could put in a microchip with his medical records in case something ever happened. Sounds good. And then somebody says, well, if it's good enough for my cat, good enough for grandma and grandpa, what about my baby? No more Amber Alerts. Never having to worry about that fear of an abducted child. And then they say, well, you know what? Maybe we should have them. And on that chip, we're going to have everything.
Niggas just gonna start cutting out the microchips, bro.
Think about it, Metro card. No more wallets. Think about this.
Just take your child, they gonna cut the microchip out.
So the question I want everybody
Leave that
at home to
microchip shit
ask
alone.
is,
That shit burned out. They just trying to fuck shit up.
It's too sci-fi for me, I'm telling you that.
It's here. I know it's here with pets and in a limited basis, but for humans and your child. Yeah, and your child.
People in the past might have wondered. to be able to buy or sell without having this mark. If this were allowed to continue, yeah, you're right, all believers would be killed. Because think about it. Look at technology. Look at the surveillance cameras that are going up everywhere. The satellites. Now the police. The police are using drones with cameras to fly around and spy on you. Have you seen that? Surveillance drones. You have them now they're installing microphones at street corners where they can listen in to what you're saying. And it's like the dystopic novel 1984. That's where the way our country is going, to where it's a total surveillance society. Used to be you just got on an airplane. Now you got to be by the TSA. Now you got to go through a body scanner. Now you got to be scanned. You got to be patted down. You got to have ID.
Hey, yeah, come up, we trying to kill folks.
Where's your ID? Your papers. Your papers are not in order. You know, and that's the country that we're living in now.
The United States Federal Reserve is considering the creation of a digital dollar. Cyber currencies have many supporters, yet critics warn they would be a privacy nightmare.
One currency expert claims the removal of cash would push America closer to a totalitarian state.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell told the House Financial Services Committee in March that the Fed had already begun testing a digital dollar.
So what we're doing is experimenting in kind of early stage experimentation. How would this work? Does it work? What's the best technology? What's the most efficient?
Just like paper dollars, a central bank digital currency, or CBDC, would be issued by the Federal Reserve. Those pushing for it say it would have several advantages over physical money. They say it could be used to fight inflation because the Fed would have more direct control over the money supply. Opponents warn that it could be a very effective instrument of government control. Physical money has been called one of the last bastions of privacy. Laws like the Bank Secrecy Act have already stripped away most of the privacy from bank accounts and financial transactions. Currency expert James Rickards says a digital currency would move America closer to a totalitarian state.
If I buy anything, the government doesn't know it. MasterCard kind of knows it, but even MasterCard uses product codes. So they don't say, you know, Jim bought a Snickers. It says Jim bought miscellaneous merchandise at a retail place. So the government doesn't know what you're doing. But with this new central bank digital currency, they will, because they maintain the ledger. So if I buy, you know, Ron DeSantis' new book, or go to a Donald Trump rally, or whatever it may be, the government, using artificial intelligence and having that information, which they would, are able to profile you. They say, well, this guy kind of looks like a conservative, and maybe he's MAGA, and then you've got a target on your back.
We all dream, but dreams quickly become distant memories, unless we do something about it. Do everything in our power to learn to lead. At Troy University, we teach everyone to be leaders in their field. We're dedicated to teaching a new generation to lead change.
Don't want to play.
You know, a lot of people think that in order to conceal carry, you're going to need a tactical belt and a set of jeans. Well, I'm here to tell you.
I'm seeking here. I just wasted my whole strike.
In a bathing suit, in a business suit, or in your birthday suit, using the Vanish holster right here. This holster is not only.
Welcome to the most notorious stretch of ocean on Earth. It's been called the Devil's Triangle, or Hurricane Alley, but most of us know it as the Bermuda Triangle.
Bermuda.
500,000 square miles of the Atlantic that has terrified and perplexed travelers.
Thank God I still got a piece of blunt. That nigga smoking on real rank.
For centuries. Since the time of Christopher Columbus, these waters have been home to many unusual and unexplainable disasters and disappearances. Ships, planes, and unsuspecting travelers lost without a trace. But where have they gone? And why did they vanish? Tonight, we aim to find out. In spite of the danger, we'll enter the Bermuda Triangle by sea
Got him.
and by air.
Niggas,
Search the depths
nigga
for
on the spot with
evidence
the
of
other
the
straight hard
triangle's
though.
alleged destructive power.
He fat as hell.
And finally, we'll reveal a shocking new theory, one that could completely redraw the map. It's a mystery that could impact our entire planet. As we go in search of the Bermuda Triangle. Have a look at this map of the southern Atlantic coast of the United States. Now, I want you to try something. Draw 3 straight lines between Miami, Bermuda, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. Seems harmless enough, right? But what if I told you that this area, which is about the size of Alaska, has been the site of over 50 ship disappearances in just the past century? It's also been the site of at least 1,000 fatalities during that stretch. Even those who've managed to survive have reported many strange anomalies here. The Triangle's countless tragic deaths remain unsolved mysteries because experts today still can't agree on the cause. Is it possible that a strange and deadly power truly lies within these 3 boundaries? There's only one way to find out. We have to enter the Triangle ourselves. Philippe Max Rouja is the custodian of historic wrecks for the island of Bermuda. And he thinks he's found one of the key causes of all of this area's destruction.
It's hard to believe on a day as calm as this that this is one of the most treacherous places on Earth.
He manages the sites of over 300 shipwrecks around the island.
Shipwreck here, shipwreck there, shipwreck there.
According to Philippe, this area has been causing problems for sailors since the very first ships passed nearby.
Bermuda was put on charts, not as a country that anyone wanted to move to or migrate to, but it's just a place of warning to mariners. This is a place you want to be very careful about, a place you want to stay away from. And it's that particular navigational hazard which I think tees up the whole mystery and the mythos of the Bermuda Triangle.
It's also the reason people live on Bermuda in the first place.
Bermuda is a nation founded on shipwrecks. The first settlers here arrived by shipwreck in 1609. Our national flag has a shipwreck smashed up against the rocks on the flag. So notes the real deep importance and connection we have to it.
If anyone understands the destructive power of the Bermuda Triangle,
You need to trust your shit. Nah, I ain't talking about you, I'm talking about him.
Today, he's tracking a relatively new theory.
And now I'm talking about his dad though.
Water phenomenon that may have been sinking ships here for
That left him open.
This is actually a really exciting thing to run into today. We've actually come across a large swath of sargassum, which is a holopelagic algae that grows in the open ocean. In historical narratives, there's actually stories of ships finding themselves stuck in these large mats and becalmed for days and weeks at a time.
Sailors began sharing stories of an impenetrable region of the Atlantic where many ships were lost. They called it the Sargasso Sea. Here, thick sargassum mats can stretch for miles beneath the water, making this one of the most dangerous parts of the Bermuda Triangle.
There are written accounts of ships getting stuck inside huge beds, way, way bigger than this. Let's imagine this thing covers a square kilometer or two, much thicker and denser, and how hard that would be to navigate your way out of it.
Easy back though like that. I don't want that.
And getting stuck isn't the only problem caused by the sargassum. Once a ship gets trapped inside, something even more dangerous can occur.
As it groups together, it starts to rot, and the smell that comes off it is actually really toxic. There's a whole storyline that feeds into this.
I'll bring it back.
In the last 5 years, they've had a massive influx of a similar kind of algae in the southern Caribbean. Unbelievable growth spurts of sargassum. It's appearing in such absolute massive quantities that it's occluding entire bays, poisoning beaches because the gas that comes off it when it rots is actually quite noxious. Suddenly you can imagine the ships would literally come to a stop in the algae, and a mat that's so thick and heavy that they'd be stuck there for days, left without movement and unable to push their way through. If those odors would get onto a ship, it could actually drive guys mad.
Is it possible that this strange growth of plant life has been poisoning mariners and sinking vessels for hundreds of years? There is strong evidence nearby, where Philippe has cataloged not one, but 3 sunken vessels clustered together.
Where else in the world would you see shipwrecks from all these different eras finding themselves in the same spot? Really, there is no logical reason for them to all be there.
Each of the 3 wrecks is quite different from the others. And yet, they all met the same fate right here, decades apart.
This was the Montana Civil War blockade runner, stuck in 1863. As you come around the back of the stern boiler, you then turn down and you're literally then confronted by one of the paddle wheels that's lying on its side.
The Montana side wheel steam propulsion was the height of Civil War era technology. But it would have been particularly susceptible to getting tangled in the Bermuda Triangle's sargassum.
So we gotta go.
And as you can see, the Montana isn't alone.
Make connections efficiently, whether you're tackling rock, plastic, or black iron. Design, cut, prep, connect, install, and maintain with DeWalt. Efficiency at every step.
Silvers.
You know, I wanted the Neely sunlight to find another path to
How
a
we
new
get to
career.
What you doing?
Confidence to become more independent and self-motivated.
Flexibility, freedom, and find a great job.
Of course, Sarah gave me the opportunity to rethink possibilities. I thought success was for other people.
Learning can be tough at first, but once you get it, the sky's the limit.
Each completed certificate encouraged me to continue.
Breaking that barrier opened the doors for me. Endless, infinite possibilities.
He just had one move, one good move.
This is the...
One time he was like, oh, let me do it back behind the back. He playing the baseline.
Center of that ship, you're actually starting to see
He'd never think about doing that again.
That came from the ship that sank in 1943, the Constellation.
Sunk directly on top of the Montana, the Constellation was a luxurious cargo ship, stocked to the gills with high-end goods bound for Venezuela.
And it had everything. Cement, billiard tables, glass plate for windows.
But of course, that cargo never reached its destination.
I gotta tell my buddy.
Neither did that of the Lardington, the area's 3rd shipwreck, which sank en route to Russia in 1879.
Every shipwreck is a mystery until you know its story. And with so many shipwrecks around Bermuda, there's a bunch that we obviously can't explain.
Is this hidden growth of algae the explanation? Could the centuries-old mystery of the Bermuda Triangle really be that simple?
On this episode of Pawn Stars, what is this?
It's the diversion tunnel blueprints from the Hoover Dam from 1932.
Wow, you have a really, really neat piece of history here.
This is an antique
my bad.
doll carriage.
This is cool.
I got this one though.
I'm seriously thinking that this is worth a lot more money.
Cool.
Oh wow, vintage concert posters from the 60s and 70s signed by the bands.
Oh, fantastic. This is wonderful. It really is a one-of-a-kind poster.
My shop, family comes first,
and money comes second, depending on who you ask.
See that
Best part,
animation,
you
man.
never know what's going to come through that door. This is Pawn Stars.
Yeah, he was waiting on that.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. I have something that I got at an estate sale. It's the diversion tunnel blueprints from the Hoover Dam from 1932.
This is really, really cool. You want to know the most amazing fact about Hoover Dam?
Yes.
It was a government project. It was done under budget and done early.
The blueprints are of the diversion tunnels that were built to divert water around the dam prior to building the dam. I'm asking $250, but realistically, I'm probably thinking I'll settle for around $150.
That picture is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it's an old negative of Hoover Dam.
Have you ever been out to Hoover Dam?
I have, actually. Yeah, but not, I
I
haven't.
feel like they're gonna pass the stamina because my stamina don't be dropping a lot.
Projects ever built in this country. The Colorado River was just insane. There was so much flooding and everything down past Boulder Canyon. That's where they built it. It was just really needed. But when they built the dam, they had to build these diversion tunnels and then build a small dam and have the water run through these diversion tunnels past the dam, so they had a place to build the dam. So they had to dig down like over 100 feet to the bedrock. And do you know why it's curved? It's because the pressure of the lake pushes into it and tries to straighten it out. It pushes the sides into the walls of the canyon. This was so high-tech for the time. They had to come up with new ways to build it. These blueprints are from the Hoover Dam construction site, so they're really interesting. But interesting doesn't always mean valuable. What do you want for them?
$250.
You have a really, really neat piece of history here.
Thank you.
But
yeah, they sick.
There was thousands and thousands of people working on the dam.
True.
Okay? And every one of them had a set of blueprints in front of them. And especially on a
shoot
project
no
this
more.
big, there must have been a print shop going 24/7 making blueprints.
I didn't think about that.
All right. So, give me $150. And I get the weird little negative picture?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to sell it as a set. $175?
Just wondering if they'll sell.
$60?
Yeah, what the hell?
Deal. Thank you.
All right, let's go up front. I'll write you up.
Thank you. I would have taken less if you would have started with a lower number, but I'm really glad that it ended up at $160.
What have we got here?
A bunch of old vintage concert posters from the 60s and 70s signed by the bands.
Oh, wow. What do we got here? We got Jefferson Airplane?
Jefferson Airplane from 67. And we have Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, that's awesome.
79. And from 1964, original boxing style, signed by June and Johnny Cash.
What more can you say about Johnny Cash and June Carter?
This bull, man.
They've made movies about these guys.
I came to the pawn shop today to sell some concert posters. I've been collecting for about 40 years now. I owned at one point 4,000 to 6,000 guitars, all
They
signed
do the
by
same
artists.
shit. I told you you got one move.
$25,000. I take 20 for them.
Oh my god, man.
Really cool. Where'd you get this stuff?
A friend of mine managed the airplane. I
We
worked
speak
with
nothing of
record
it.
labels for quite a while. They would stop by and sign left and
You know
right.
what I'm
That's
saying?
awesome, man. And what are these, the
Keep it
backstage
rolling.
passes?
No, these are actually uncut handbill sheets. What they would do is, after they got from the printer, they would split them in for four different venues, all signed.
Jefferson Airplane?
I'm going to bed though.
Completely signed.
And this shit the right way because you been
When you
reaching.
think of 60s hippie era Woodstock style music, it's Jefferson Airplane that comes to mind.
Definitely.
Yeah, we got Stevie Ray Vaughan here, who's probably one of the best guitarists to ever play. Doesn't get nearly the amount of attention that Jimi Hendrix gets or Jimmy Page. And then we got Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash.
And this is before June became.
Posters are potentially worth a ton, but there's a lot of factors you gotta consider. Are the posters valuable? Are they need to call some Hendrix to figure this one out. Okay, so what are you looking to do with it?
I like to sell it.
Any idea what you're looking to get for it, or?
About $25,000.
What happened? I couldn't hear. I just talk.
I I can't never hear them niggas in the game chat.
I've got kind of a dilemma here. I need to know what the posters themselves are worth, and then if the autographs are real. So let me bring some buddies down and tell me what these things might be worth. All right?
No problem at all. Great.
All right, man. Well, hang out and let me see if I can get them down here.
That'd be great. Thanks. I have no problem with extra being called in. I got them personally, so I have no problem with them being 100% genuine.
A guy brought in a bunch of signed rock and roll posters, and he's asking a lot of money. My first concern is if the posters are legit, and if they have any real value by themselves. So I called up Warwick to come down and check them out. Oh, fantastic. This is wonderful.
Only the best.
Those would frame up really nicely. Okay. I'm having Steve come down to verify that they're all signed, but I'm just kind of curious of what you think of them. Well, I always love posters. Let's turn all these around and take a look. A lithograph from the Summer of Love here. Very nice. And these are a more Jefferson Airplane.
Uncut printer's handbill sheet.
Nice. Now what's left?
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
What's nice about this little poster is it's 79, and he doesn't become a star until he is tapped to be David Bowie's guitar player. As a poster, it's great. And
64, Johnny Cash and June Cash.
So the interesting thing is, June Carter wrote Ring of Fire. It's about their hot relationship. And so they're having this relationship in 63. So it's a very interesting time period. It's a great poster.
Thank you.
The Johnny Cash is in such good condition for its age. It also has so many good, entertaining little trivia facts in it. Concert posters are very collectible because people can really enjoy their rock experience on their own wall. So, what do you think they're worth? Oh, well, these are very common. There's been a lot of Jefferson Airplane stuff recently. I would say, I know these are worth $75 a piece, maybe a couple of hundred at the most. Well, these are the two things that are history. They're interesting.
We got one more from you to take it serious.
You're a member when Amex Offers helps you earn statement credits and extra rewards on qualifying purchases. Make the most of membership with offers like earning 10% back on your next grocery trip or $30 back on dinner out. Simply add as many offers as you like and use your card as you normally would to make qualifying purchases. It's that easy. Not sure where your offers are? Open the American Express app and tap the Offers tab, or log in at americanexpress.com and scroll down to Amex Offers and Benefits. With new offers added every week, it's easy to find ways to earn more from the things you love. Terms apply.
What's the difference between selling on a marketplace and selling with Shopify?
I send it to you, old nigga.
The poster, I'd say itself is worth, I would say $1,300 to $1,500.
That's hard, man.
Highly collectible because of its age. So, and then June and Johnny, a lovely, lovely poster. I would say, for the poster itself.
Yeah, number 3 over.
$3,500 to $4,500 for the poster.
With the signatures or without the signature?
I don't care about
signatures.
Okay.
On this.
Okay,
Signatures,
that wasn't
that's a whole different ball game. So, I appreciate it, work. My pleasure. It was a pleasure seeing these. All right, I'm going to go give Steve a call and see where he's at.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Well, the good news is the posters are legit and they are worth money. And if the signatures turn out to be real too, I hope it kicks up the value to a whole new level.
What is this?
This is an antique doll carriage.
This is cool.
Yeah.
God, it's really well constructed. It looks pretty fancy for a doll carriage. Usually, like this front piece right here, what's the fifth wheel? That would be all one cast piece of iron. And the fifth wheel is what I'm meaning is this right here, not that person who screws up a double date. All right.
I came down to the pawn shop today to try to sell my antique doll carriage. My dad and I were looking through my grandma's old storage unit and came across it. If I don't sell it, it's gonna just sit in my storage for years. So might as well just see what I can get for it.
It looks really expensive to be a toy. I'm baffled. I mean, because it's really, really well made for an antique toy. Toys usually aren't built really well because it's for a kid. You know, it's a toy. So I am seriously thinking that this is maybe a salesman sample, which would make it worth a lot more money. Someone's going to order a carriage, they want to know what it looks like.
Right.
So salesman would go to the retailer and says, this is our product, this is what it looks like, because there's certain things on it you just don't see in a toy. There's no reason to make this out of leather.
Yeah.
You don't need suspension.
Yeah.
On something for a doll. I mean, because it's too small for a baby. So what were you looking to do with it?
I'm looking to sell it.
So how much did you want for it?
I don't know, I'm thinking maybe like 500 or so.
You know, that might be right. It might be
damn.
Too little. So, if you don't mind, hang out for a little bit. I'm gonna get someone down here today. Hang out. I'll be back.
Damn.
I was really
Boy
surprised
came on
when you
this
said
shit
that
aggressive.
it might be a salesman sample because that means it would be worth a lot more. So hopefully whoever he's calling in can come and confirm that and
What are you looking for, son?
Go back to the 3.
Sunglasses. I thought I saw you put them in that drawer last time you were in here. See you guys.
Those new glasses?
Yeah.
They're nice, man. Where'd you get them?
Got them all. They're real nice. They compliment your face well.
Who would like a door? They feel nice on your face. They don't feel like different from this morning.
Really? Where's my sunglasses, guys? What? Those right there. You got them in your hand. No, these are not that. These are like $3 on the street corner sunglasses. What happened to my sunglasses?
I sat on them. They broke. Rick, those are knockoffs.
If Corey would have stopped complimenting you, you would have been out the door and wouldn't even notice. I would have noticed in a few minutes, I guarantee you.
Knockoffs are so good these days. You can't even tell when someone's
I can tell.
I bet you if I bring something in, one real, one fake, you couldn't tell the difference.
I could.
You want to place a little wager on that?
Sure.
All right. If you win, I'll get you them stupid sunglasses you like so much. Brand new pair. But if I win, I want those 4 tickets that you have to the UNLV game this weekend.
Whatever.
Confident there.
Yeah.
Might be a slash a bit, boy.
Hey, you forgot your sunglasses.
They're not my sunglasses. A customer brought in what I think is a salesman's sample of an antique carriage. The big question I have is why is the quality so good on a kid's toy? So I called in MHP, who always has the answers. This is the maybe salesman sample, or the fanciest toy I've ever seen in my life.
Well, this thing, it's based on a Landau, which is a particular kind of carriage. What's interesting is the Landau was actually a carriage designed in Germany, in the town of Landau.
This shit crazy, niggas still ain't. Oh, they both AI.
What was nice about it is it was set up so that when you were probably from the 1860s, 1870s, maybe as late as the 80s.
No, I know it was like pre-1900 for rivets.
Absolutely. A carriage like this, if it's a salesman sample, it's quite scarce. Most of the salesman samples have been thrown away when they were no longer of any use. The high-end toys, yes, they are, but salesman samples, much more so. Oh, yes. This was a rich kid's store.
Not a problem. Thank you. Very interesting. Thank you.
In the 19th century, extremely high-end toys tend to be quite rare. It was an expensive piece. It was to be taken care of. I enjoy seeing pieces like this.
Let me give you $100.
Got a big ass ball head.
How about maybe 200?
It's really neat. I mean, like my.
Look, the rivets. Look at this quality of
I know, but you know, I'm gonna have to get the big fixed stuff and everything.
That nigga head is humongous. Oh my soul, that nigga shit swole here. And it just turned red under the light. That nigga shit finna blow up.
But I'm kind of back to where I was in the beginning. I thought it was a toy, so in the end, I think it's okay.
Slide it. I'm a creator. I create shit. I get to jump his head way on straight back down.
Posters that could be worth a lot of money. The only thing left to do is figure out if these signatures are real and how much they're worth. So Steve's here to help me out.
That bitch always bounce out of bounds.
Looks like a lot of concert posters.
Used to have the servitude, but I was just a bust. Shorty clean the business,
Meet Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo. Fargo makes banking faster and easier.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
Lets you pick up the tab, even if you forget your wallet.
I got this.
Fargo, send Cass $145 for the sale.
Smith. Fargo puts important information at your fingertips.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries this month?
Big head ass motherfucker. Give me $5.
Want to see everything Fargo can do? You can with Wells Fargo.
Man, head swole like. I can't get over that shit, bro. Like a nigga done, like he got stung in the head by a bee.
I mean, obviously, the big ones are, you know, look to be right here. You know, Stevie Ray Vaughan, obviously, you know, one of the greatest guitarists of all time. And then Johnny Cash, obviously, was, you know, he's around forever. Yeah. You tell me a little more about him, you know, your concerns or what's going on here. My concerns are signatures are real. Well, I mean, the thing I want to do is take a look at some examples that I've got on file. Johnny Cash's signature was pretty sloppy. First, the start of the J, and then I see the C where he hooks up.
Fuck out my face.
So I like seeing that on both those. Okay.
Fuck out of my face, buddy.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. Sure. I love the way Stevie Ray Vaughan, as we can see here, starting off with the S here.
Still,
you know, he almost printed out, but he connected everything. So those are all pretty good signs, Corey.
Yeah.
What about the airplane? Initials here, same thing with Yorma.
He's tired. This how he did the last couple games anyway. He up and go out of bounds.
Everything I'm seeing here is legit.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm aware too.
So Warwick says they're worth $6,000, just the posters. This guy wants $25,000. So with the signatures, what do you think they're worth?
These guys are still alive and they're still out there signing. You know, I put the value of these right at $150 to $200 each. Stevie Ray Vaughan. This is the type of thing I see go for right in the range of $1,500 to $1,600. Okay. Next one I want to touch on is Johnny Cash. Original poster like this, obviously, worth a lot of money. There's no question about that. I would put the value of this probably in the $35,000 to $4,000 range.
Steve, I appreciate you coming down.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Steve. Yep.
Nice
Good luck. Yeah, thanks, man. Posters,
I
really don't
know.
see a lot of them said. For the most part, it doesn't sound like an exceptional piece. Like the Beatles on a photo, they're not going to eclipse the $10,000.
It's over, bro.
The signatures didn't really add a lot.
This swole head ass nigga, buff head ass nigga,
the poster
big
alone
head
is
ass
I
nigga.
need $4,500 for an unsigned poster for Johnny.
You gotta know that head.
Give me a number, man. What are you willing to take this stuff? For all of this
together,
I can't take less than 20.
That nigga shit poking.
Man, if you're at 20,000 and I'm at about 7. I just don't see us being able to make it. I understand. I appreciate it. I thank you very much for your time. Appreciate you coming down, man. Thank you very much.
You gonna force it?
I'm not disappointed at all. I had another offer on the table, so I wasn't worried whether I made the deal or not. I still had someone willing to take it.
Green bean, lemon squeeze. Can I get the Bible, please?
Yeah.
How's the boat looking, son?
Everything's fine. I'm trying to find some inventory things. What, chum?
All right, Mr. Know-It-All. Which ones are real, which ones are fake?
Shit easy, man.
There you go.
This is real.
How's it feel to be wrong?
Are you serious?
Uh-huh.
You
Look at the
fuck with it.
shoelaces. You wear SBs all the time.
Open.
You know what? You got me, chum. Here you go. Have fun. Have fun tomorrow.
Green.
Front row.
Yes, sir.
You were slipping, dude. I could tell those were fake from here.
Really on like
I knew the
a
second he put
fucking
those things
40.
down,
How fake were the tickets, Fred?
You know how it does so many games.
Like I was gonna reward him for breaking my sunglasses.
Your purple bar match that?
Oh, shut up and stop.
Oh, yeah, we definitely done played like 40 games then.
No whining.
You are whining.
30 at the lowest. 20 at the lowest. 25 at the lowest.
On this episode of Pawn Stars,
What do you got there?
30 low.
Pink
Yeah,
1969 rear load beach bomb.
That's the holy grail of Hot Wheels, isn't it?
It sure is.
What do you want for it? Damn.
A bargain for the rarest of all rare toys.
I have here an etching by Rembrandt.
The big question, is it real?
Based on the heaviness and uniformity of the inks, I really think.
At my shop, family comes first.
I don't think I had boosts this whole time. That's what it was. You remember when I started missing? I think that's when the boost ran out. So I had to get adjusted to making it in a smaller window.
What do you got there?
Well, prepare to be amazed. The rarest Hot Wheel in the world.
Is that what I think it is?
The pink 1969 rear load beach bomb.
That's the holy grail of Hot Wheels, isn't it?
It sure is. It's in mint condition. These
Hey, come here and turn the way.
Yeah, that was a ragtop Volkswagen. Volkswagen Transporter. We call it a bus, but technically it's a transporter. I know a lot more about Volkswagens than I do Hot Wheels.
So I do it again.
I came to
Damn,
the pawn shop
I ain't get
today
that
to sell my 1969 pink rear loader beach bomb, the rarest Hot Wheel in the world. And I've had it for about 15 years. My daughter's wedding is a little over a year from now, and maybe now's a great time to
I gotta
sell a
get
Hot
that
Wheel
again. Hold on.
and raise some money for the wedding.
It's pretty amazing. It's one of those little tidbits of history and collecting that, you know, generally you see in some guy's personal little.
Why I can't get a screenshot? My shit said it's standing up. I gotta do it quick.
And they got Mustangs.
I double tap this shit on shit.
And they were so much faster than the Matchboxes. And me and every single kid in my neighborhood, we all had our Hot Wheels. All right, do you know anything about it?
Well,
They actually stopped making this variety and made a different variety.
oh yeah, nigga, that man.
Hence, this was never for sale to the public.
You got two of them, is?
That's why it's so valuable.
Yeah.
Okay. Hot Wheels was one of the greatest toys to come out in the late 60s, and they're still popular today. The fact that only a few of these were produced but never sent out to the public makes it incredibly rare. And being a Volkswagen bus, it's got a dual collector base.
I can't do that shit.
I have no idea what this is worth, but I know it's not going to be cheap. Okay, so I'm assuming if you have the holy grail of Hot Wheels, you have a lot more Hot Wheels?
I have about 6,000 Hot Wheels. I'm Hot Wheel crazy.
Okay. So what do you want for it?
$150,000. A bargain for the rarest of all rare toys.
150 grand. Damn. I don't even touch it. Let me call him, friend. He owns a Toy Shack right down the street. He's a pretty big dealer of toys.
He sure is. I know him.
Okay, so I'm going to give him a call. You hang out. Just guard that thing.
Are you missing out on earning statement credits or extra rewards from your American Express card membership? Amex offers can help you enjoy offers like earning 10% back on your next grocery run or $30 back on date night. With personalized offers
Really
constantly
hop
added,
off and
there's
go
always a
play
new chance to
9
earn.
out of 10.
Simply open the American Express app and tap the Offers tab, or log in at AmericanExpress.com and scroll down to Amex Offers and Benefits. Add as many offers as you like and use your card as you normally would to make qualifying purchases. No coupons to clip, no extra work at checkout. It's that easy. Terms apply.
Stay warm. All my quests completed.
Watch NFL games and more on Hulu Plus Live TV. Sign up now to get over 90 live channels plus access to Hulu's entire streaming with Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, all in one plan.
I gotta stay warm badge, I think.
Okay. I'm confident that Johnny will verify this is a legitimate car, and it's the only one like it in the world. As for the value, I'm very interested myself to see what Johnny has to say.
I see it. I see it, though.
Go to Takeover.
Tell me what we got.
Progression Takeover.
These are 1970 Weltron UFO stereos. And these are actually two different models.
They want to take over me, don't want to drain, just take over front. I think I gotta go back and talk to Brady.
Later with a cassette. You guys know what 8-tracks are, right?
Yeah, because I don't got my shit.
I'm all about digital downloads.
I think so.
I actually got it 12 years ago when I had a shagadelic divorce party, and either way,
I stay warm, ain't under no pressure.
Idea what these things were. I'm hoping to get
I don't see it on the list no more.
They're pretty cool. What can you tell me about it?
1969, the United States first put a man on the moon. 1970, Weltron and JVC.
See, now my shit valid.
Space age.
Oh, God.
I mean, obviously in the early 70s, everything was about space. And just about everybody was making something kind of space-aged. People got into it.
Yeah, a lot of really fun stuff.
These UFO stereos are definitely strange looking. But they have a retro feel that attracts sci-fi fans and hipsters. They're cool and could be easy to sell. They could be a good buy for the shop if the price isn't out of this world. Do they actually work still?
This one does, yes.
Alright, how do I turn the power on here?
So the power button is right here. I'm trying to hear a radio there a little bit, FM, AM.
Alright, so it works. Turn it off. So, yeah, what are you looking to do with these?
Well, I'm going to sell them.
Okay, what are you looking to get out of them?
Well, I'm looking for $3,000 for all of this.
What do you think, Big Hollis? Absolutely, positively no way. I see it more as like a novelty. I was thinking like it'd be kind of fun for like $300.
It would be fun for $300, but I just don't know if that's even doable.
I'll do $500.
And you can't do $600? I mean,
no way, no how, no possibility.
Oh boy. $550. I mean, come on.
You beat me down. $550. Deal. It's a deal.
$550.
It's a deal. And you're right. I'm not right about it. Come with me, PJ.
Okay. To tell you the truth, I'm going to have to think about what I'm going to spend $550 on, because I was expecting at least $1,500 out of this, so I don't know.
Yeah, let me jump in there. He got 3 seconds too.
A guy came in with an extremely rare Hot Wheels car. I know it's worth a lot of money, but I don't know if it's worth over $100,000. I mean, it's a toy car, so I called in Johnny, and I'm getting his opinion. Hey, what's up, Rick? Oh, pretty good. Well, you supposedly know this guy? Hey, what's up, Rick? How are you? He has this, supposedly it's... It is. Wow, this is supposedly the greatest, most expensive Hot Wheels ever. All the rumors aren't true about the rear loader beach bomb. When Rick called me and told me I had the Hot Wheels peak rear loader beach bomb,
Lagging, bro.
I couldn't believe it, and I couldn't get here fast enough.
This is the rarest and most sought after Hot Wheel in existence.
I'm fucking lagging. Why the hell am I lagging, bro?
This is legit.
I ain't like this whole time.
This has changed the industry of collecting Hot Wheels. Nobody thought that anybody could make an impact on Matchbox. Matchbox dominated the diecast market. And then when Hot Wheels came out in '68, it was over. They were fast. You know, they had these Spectre Flame paint jobs. You know, it was never the same. And usually in the Hot Wheel collecting world, pink always means dollar signs.
Okay.
There's only, I believe, 2 pinks known, and one is a prototype, and the other one was an early production.
Okay.
Do you mind?
See when that nigga down like start rolling, if you roll to 3 line or some shit like
Always
that.
have a white glove just in case, and this is one of those moments where the white glove comes out.
It's off. They're off.
So what are you looking for?
This is a different base than the early production ones. So this is definitely the prototype. And there's certain things in the lettering, the bumpers, even like flaws in the casting that are only available to the prototypes in the early production. Some of these two are just raw, it's just not cleaned up like it is in the later ones, and also the knockoffs. Everything looks 100% correct.
Oh shit.
So what do you think it's worth?
These were like 60 cents back in the 60s, and now they're still under $1. There's some heavy hitters in the Hot Wheel world that would jump on a prototype like this. So it'd be easily $100,000 for this car.
Okay. All right, well, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
In the Hot Wheels market, there's nothing close to this. I mean, this is the holy grail of Hot Wheels. This is what everybody goes after. This is the rarest, and this is in the best condition. And that's why it goes for $100,000.
So I'm thinking 60?
Nah, we're not in the same neighborhood.
I'll go 65 grand.
No, I'll go down to 140.
I mean, I go as high as 70.
Nah. It's just not going to do it. I guess when you're talking about world record cars and the holy grails, kind of what I want to sell for one day and somebody else wants to pay, and I guess today's not the day.
Well, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you very much.
It was cool to see you.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Unfortunately, this is truly my pink baby. I appreciate his offer of $70,000, but in this case, I think this car is worth probably at least twice that much.
Hey, Rick, what are you reading? I'm reading Sammy Davis Jr.'s memoir. Why? There's a lot of people out there with really interesting lives, and it's fun to read about it.
Kind of like my life?
I imagine your life is pretty boring, actually.
My life ain't boring. My life would be the best
They're
of
not
my life.
out of there.
Well, first off, Chum, you usually write a memoir after you accomplish
Going to
something.
jail for 5, don't play with him.
By the time I was 32, I traveled around the world, been in a war. What have you done for God and country? I was in a war too.
They only got the 4%.
Really?
That shit crazy.
There's a war on these streets.
Next game, I'm at level 11.
I don't even know what to say.
Chum, if that's what you want to do in your spare time,
I'm at 33%. Was it purple though?
you're just not going to do it work.
I think I just might. Woke
My
up
heart
in the morning,
just dropped.
took a pee, and brushed my teeth. Never mentioned washing his hands.
Hey, how's it going?
Fine, fine. I have here an etching.
You love your stuff, because your stuff is amazing. But what if bad stuff happens to your stuff?
These are some of the craziest alien theories in Joe Rogan history. As always, if you guys enjoy, please be sure to subscribe with post notifications on.
When they detonated the bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that's when UFOs are coming. All the UFO activity
Can't do
ramped up
momentum.
substantially. And
What do you think that is?
I think they realize we have nukes. Like, these crazy motherfuckers. They wipe out whole cities with nukes. These fucking assholes, they had to come down and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you doing, man? What the fuck are you doing?
Nobody think they came like that. Hey, fucking nuclear. What the fuck is going on? Who gives a nuclear weapon?
Well, I think they realized we reached reached a level of technological sophistication that we could kind of kill everybody on Earth.
Oh, you think one of them went rogue and taught us?
I don't think one of them went rogue and taught us, because there's a very, like, if you go and look at the Manhattan Project and you go and look at the history of splitting the atom, there's a very clear academic paper trail of how they figured this out, and all the trials that they did and what they did when they detonated the Trinity bomb, which, by the way, was one of the first times they ever discovered those nanodiamonds. It's called, then they call it trinitite, and it's like nuclear glass, they call it as well. And it's what happens when a massive impact hits sand, and it turns it into this kind of glass.
I think that because when it come with all the visits, what were they visiting to do? Because I know, they ought to say like we caught one or something like that.
Yeah.
If you did you try to torture him and get stuff out of him? Or what would be the thing? Or what would the visits if they wasn't teaching something? I believe in it. I just don't know what they were visiting to do.
Well, the way I describe it is, there's a great show on Netflix called Chimp Empire. And Chimp Empire is all about these scientists that are embedded in this chimp tribe, and they've been there for 30 years. Because these scientists have been there for 30 years, the chimpanzees behave like there's no people there. They can get within 20 feet of these chimpanzees. Chimpanzees, as long as they don't eat in front of them, and as long as they never present any sort of danger,
or raise their voices, guarding that shit, bro. He just a fake.
Observing these chimpanzees, and then the cinematographers captured all this. I think the way we treat chimpanzees is probably, and they let them kill each other. They do wild shit to each other, these chimps. They engage in territorial warfare. They fight over, observe us, but not do anything. And I think if we did something fucking dangerous, like nuclear bombs, then they would go, whoa, okay. Because I think if alien societies do exist, intelligent life is out there in the universe, I think what happens is they keep getting more and more and more and more sophisticated, and at the beginning they engage in tribal warfare, and as they become more and more sophisticated, their technology becomes far too dangerous to keep doing that same shit, and that's when they observe them, because it's this perilous tipping point where we could completely wipe out life on Earth, or we can evolve and get to the next stage of existence where we can coexist harmoniously throughout the universe and join some fucking global, some rather universal group of beings. That's possible. Yeah. But the only way that's possible is if we don't.
Yeah, we can play Project Admin.
You think about all this UFO disclosure shit.
I'm about to get off it. Is it this game or next game?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah. I'm getting off after this game. I want something to eat, nigga.
Because we already know. I know, but it's interesting that like there wasn't like some moment where people like were like, holy shit.
Because that nigga, we already friends, but
that's coming. You think? I think it's because this is slow trickle. It's gonna be. We just accept it.
Well, they try to normalize it with like War of the Worlds, which is like the or Battle of Los Angeles and shit like that. That was a real fucking thing that happened. The pictures of Battle of Los Angeles is crazy.
What happened exactly? There's
this big object in the sky, and we're shooting machine guns at it. We got spotlights. This is like in the 50s, maybe. Look at this shit. Wow. So we're putting fucking rounds on this fucking thing.
Spotlights on this thing in the sky.
Look at the rounds.
Right, but what is it? What is it that they're
showing how to dribble that fat ass mascot.
Boy, that looks like a fucking flying saucer.
Look at in the middle, and look at. But those things around it, those are fucking like Mob Deuce rounds. Like they're shooting at this fucking thing. They don't know what it is.
Well, you know that there's a famous story from the Soviet Union that these guys shot at a UFO and it turned them into stone.
Is it true?
I don't know. The CIA investigated it. Here, I'll send it to you, Jamie, because I sent it to Jeremy Corbell. That's what I asked him.
Fuck, I should have had links, Jamie. God damn it.
Well, this is the only link I have. It's
CIA UFO turned into stone. You're definitely on a watch list, Jamie.
Yeah, so there's literally like a CIA document about it. That these guys supposedly shot at a low-flying spaceship. Look at it. According to the KGB materials, a quite low-flying spaceship in the shape of a saucer appeared above a military unit that was conducting routine training maneuvers.
Purple. You want to get off?
Somebody unexpectedly launched a surface-to-air missile and hit the UFO. It fell to Earth not far away, and 5 short humanoids with large heads and large black eyes emerged from it. It is stated in the testimonies by the 2 soldiers who remained alive that after freeing themselves from the debris, the aliens came close together and then merged into a single object
If you try to, we can get back on to it tomorrow.
Shape.
Well, today, when you get back on this video.
And hiss sharply, and then became brilliant white. In a few seconds, the spheres grew much bigger and exploded by flaring up with an extremely bright light. At that very instant, 23 soldiers who had watched the phenomenon turned into stone poles. Yeah.